confinement. So,
Pretty much, yeah.
After you left, what kind of a mental and emotional state were you in?
I was pretty destroyed in myself. I truly believed that no one could help me but Mercy, because it's what I had been told for 8 months straight, that there was no help outside of Mercy, and that, without Mercy I was dead. I had to find somewhere to live. Obviously, I couldn't live with my parents due to their living circumstances and that kind of thing. And I had to live by myself in a little granny flat that was absolutely tiny. And I think it was about 6 weeks after I left, I actually had a massive overdose and very nearly almost died. Those doctors have just not been able to explain exactly how I lived through that, but I was in intensive care for 3 days with them not being able to work out really why I don't have organ damage and that kind of thing from that overdose. But I was very, very close to not making it through that.
An overdose of what, Sarah?
I took an overdose of something called Epilum, which is a mood stabilizer that they use a lot with people with bipolar and that kind of thing. And it's actually a very, very dangerous thing to overdose on. I only found that out afterwards. But it, in high doses, causes liver damage, kidney damage, that kind of thing. So,
but was it a deliberate overdose?
It was deliberate. I took something like 90 of those tablets. So it was very deliberate, yeah.
So something very dangerous to overdose on, it was a good choice, you would think.
Yeah, well, yeah, according to them, yes, very good.
And, why did you want to do that at the time? What was going through your head?
Because I truly believed that without Mercy I couldn't live. Without their help, I could not survive. I could not get through my problems. I could not do anything, because that's what I've been told so much.
Can you just give me a minute? I just need to get my a power adapter for my laptop. I'll be right back, Sarah.
Okay, yep.
Get a glass of water.
Thanks.
Sorry about that. Just noticed my battery was almost dead.
Oh dear, that would not have been good.
No. So, as you told me earlier that you were a Christian, which is why you wanted to go into Mercy, and that you're still a believer.
Yep.
In your mind, if you'd gone in, done all this Bible reading, obviously prayed to Jesus to make you well, and 8 months later, you still felt as bad as ever.
Yep.
In your mind today, how is that possible? If you went in and you prayed to get better and nothing happened, why do you think that is?
I believe because one of the major things that they tell you is that your problems are caused by demonic things and demons and that kind of thing. And I don't believe that the counselling that I actually went through was proper counselling. Like, when you go to see a counsellor, normally you go and talk about how your week's been and how you're getting through problems and that kind of thing. Yet in their model, they actually just pray over you, and that's it. You don't actually get any of the, okay, well, how am I coping with certain problems and how am I going to deal with things? They tell you that they give you tools to overcome self-harm and all that kind of thing. But in reality, all they do is tell you to go and pray. When I don't believe that I don't believe that that's the answer.
So even though you're still a believer today, you don't believe that praying is the way to deal with mental health issues? I believe
that it helps. I believe that praying can help those kind of things, but I believe you also need other tools in your life.
Right.
You need to be able to talk to people about it. You need to be able to work things through so that you can say, okay, this is what's actually causing me to feel like I want to self-harm. And then work through that with someone and actually talk about it and actually get it out. And praying about it, yes, it helps, I believe, but I don't think it's the only thing you should be doing. I think that there's a lot of other tools that you need to use as well as that.
I've always thought that the brain is just an organ like the intestines, and if you've got a problem with your intestines, you go to a doctor and they work it out, and the brain is really no different, right?
Exactly, yeah.
It's a bunch of cells.
Yeah, you've got to have specialists to actually help you through that. You can't just have someone who's not trained in mental health counselling at all to come in and just pray over you and that's it. And offer you no tools on helping you. But yeah.
Okay, so you fortunately you survived this suicide attempt when you came out. And what have you been doing since then? How long is it since you've been out of Mercy?
It's been almost 3 years. This year it'll be 3 years.
And what are you doing from a therapy perspective these days?
Therapy perspective, I see my psychiatrist every 2 weeks at the moment. Sometimes it's every week, just depending on how I'm doing. I also see, I have a case manager who calls me, a couple of times a week usually, and just chats to me about how things are going. And I also have they have special services set up that are after hour services. So if it's after my case manager has actually left for the day, like after 5 p.m, they have a number that you can ring and you can talk to someone, and a doctor can actually prescribe something for you if you talk to them, or they can admit you to hospital, that kind of thing, depending on the severity of things. But there's always something in place, and there's always things like the lifeline and that kind of thing that you can ring and just have a chat to someone and just sit down and say, okay, this is how I'm feeling and this is really what I'm feeling like, and how can I work through this? What tools can I use? And they're always really helpful and really good with that kind of thing.
And how are you doing now?
I'm doing pretty well, all things considered. I've had a few setbacks this year, but I'm still working really hard at getting a lot better. But the thing is, it takes time. It's not something that I can just go in and see a doctor once and then leave. It's something that be years and years of seeing a psychiatrist and seeing counsellors and that kind of thing that is going to work through the actual root causes of the problems and stuff like that.
Yeah, and as we mentioned earlier, Friday, October the 10th, which was last Friday now, we said it was going to be next Friday, but we've recorded this in two parts just so we don't confuse people. It was World Mental Health Day, and I guess part of the reason for that was to try and build awareness about the fact that mental health issues are actually extremely common in society today, and the people that are going through depression or anything like that, you're not alone, and there's a lot of us out there that have learned to deal with it and learned to live with it, and as you said, it's definitely a process of learning how to cope on a daily basis. Sorry, go on.
Like a lot of people, you would not know that they suffer from any kind of mental health issue just working with them or anything like that. But it's like if you get to know someone, you actually talk about it, you go, oh, wow, you actually suffer from depression or bipolar or, whatever they have, and it's not actually obvious all the time. Yeah, people think it has to be obvious, but it's not.
Exactly. And we've seen, and we unfortunately we see every year a lot of high-profile celebrities who commit suicide, and everyone's always shocked because these people are making a lot of money and they're beautiful and they're famous and everyone thinks that they've got it all made, but obviously that's what people look like on the surface has got nothing to do with it. And I know when I started this show almost exactly 4 years ago, one of the first things I talked about on the show was seeing my psychiatrist and dealing with my mental health issues, because I think it's just really important that we get that out there, that it's nothing to be embarrassed about or ashamed about. It doesn't make you unusual. In fact, it puts you in the norm, I think, pretty much.
Yeah, like there's a very high percentage of people that either suffer from mental illness or know someone who suffers from mental illness.
Yeah, and the key message is, if you think you're one of those, to get out and get professional help, and don't avoid it. Just get out there and do something like you would if you had a sore leg. You get out and you do something about it.